Mr. Nyck, Mr. Nyck, he's our pick. It's Mr. Nyck. Yay!
Hey everybody, welcome to the Mr. Nyck Show. I'm your host, Mr. Nyck. Today we're going to be learning all about Arctic animals. Those are animals that live in the cold. It's going to be really fun. This will be the first episode of our Animals of the World series. We're going to talk about animals from all over different parts of the world. Today, animals that live in the Arctic. First, let me introduce you to my co-host and my friend, Allie. Hey, Allie, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm excited to talk about all these animals there. You?
I am really excited.
Let's get started talking about our first animal. The first animal we're going to talk about is a polar bear. Yeah, take a look at that polar bear. Did you know that a boy polar bear, can be up to 10 feet tall? 10 feet tall. Like, I cannot jump that high with my hand. I can't do it. It's crazy. And
That's so big.
And weigh up to 1,000 pounds? That's like more than 5 Mr. Nycks. That's how heavy a polar bear can be. That's crazy. And did you know that a polar bear is such a good swimmer? It can actually hold its breath underwater for up to 3 minutes.
Wow, I didn't know polar bears could swim so well.
3 minutes, that's amazing. I can only hold my breath for like maybe 30 seconds. You're an alligator, you might be able to do better than me.
Yeah, I can.
And did you know that a polar bear, even though it has white, beautiful white fur, that its skin under all that fur is actually black? I didn't know that. And the reason why is because the black helps attract the heat, which makes sense. You want to stay warm if you're living in the Arctic with all that ice, right? And a polar bear's paw can be up to 12 inches wide. Kids, this right here is 12 inches. This is how big a paw for a polar bear could be. Look at my hand. Not even close. Can you imagine a polar bear? Ow, ooh, that big paw coming at you? No thank you. And a polar bear also, not only have it got hit with that big paw with those big claws, 42 teeth. 42. The regular human adult only has 28 teeth. 32 if you count the wisdom teeth, but 42 teeth? A polar bear is an animal you definitely do not want to mess with if you come across one in the wild. Let's take a look at the next animal, which is an Arctic fox. Those are pretty cute.
That's really cute.
Now kids, I said a polar bear's paw could be 12 inches wide. An Arctic fox is only about 12 inches tall. That's it. That's how big an Arctic fox is standing up. But a polar bear's paw, right? So tiny, right? And you know what's also kind of cool about the Arctic fox is in the winter when it's snowing and white everywhere, its fur is white. But when the summer comes, if it's in an area where all that snow melts, the fur turns brown. That's for camouflage. Yeah, camouflage means that you want to look like all the stuff surrounding you so that other animals can't see you.
That's really smart.
It is, because, you know, the reality of living in the wild is animals sometimes want to eat other animals. That's how they eat. So if you look like all the stuff around you, it's harder for them to see you. And when it is snowing, they have a lot of fur on their feet to keep their little paws warm. So like, you know,
like
just
socks?
Socks, exactly. Socks. Good one, Allie. And when a litter is when you have like puppies, you know, like a dog, if it has a litter, it's called, all those puppies. An Arctic fox, when they have a litter, it can have 5 to 8 pups in a litter. That's like little tiny, these little guys. Oh.
I bet they look so cute.
So cute. And then if an adult is only 12 inches tall, those guys gotta be so little. They're so little. Super cute. The Arctic fox. Take a look at the Arctic wolf. The Arctic fox was pretty cute. The Arctic wolf is actually, I think, that's a pretty good looking animal too. What do you think, Allie?
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
Yeah. Now, the Arctic wolf is smaller than wolves that you would normally see in North America. I don't know why that is. And it's actually, this is a little complicated, but it's actually the same subspecies as the dogs that we have at home. So it's actually more closely related to a dog you might have in your house, even if it's a different type of dog. It doesn't look like the Arctic wolf. And the Arctic wolves are really, really smart because, you know, one wolf trying to catch food may not be easy, but they hunt and they travel in packs. So a group of wolves will work together to try to find food, and it gets a little complicated.
That's smart. That's good teamwork.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into all of that stuff, but it's good teamwork because sometimes you have to work together to achieve your goals, and the Arctic wolf definitely does that. Next, let's take a look at a whale. This is a beluga whale. Now, they live in the Arctic Ocean, and the beluga whale, you can see right there, is a very white color whale, but the babies are actually gray or brown, and it takes 7 to 9 years to fully turn to that white color. That's a long time.
That is really long.
Yeah. And a beluga whale is actually one of the only whales that have teeth. A lot of whales don't have teeth.
Why do they need teeth?
I'm pretty sure it's to eat the fish that they eat. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And belugas, they travel like the Arctic wolf, they travel in packs of 10 or more. So they really travel in groups. I think that helps protection. That also helps them find their food. And speaking of finding food, they use something called echolocation to find food. That means they make a sound and then they listen for the sound echoes to come back to them. And they can tell, well, that sounds like that hit the bottom of the ocean. That sounds like that hit the bottom of the ocean. But that right there, that came back quicker. I think there might be food right there, and it helps them find their food. That's pretty interesting.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Sounds like a lot of work, but if they're in the dark ocean, it's hard to see, but they can make that noise and hear the echoes and stuff. The sound, I think, helps a lot. And also what's cool about the beluga whale is that if you see most whales or fish in general, right, when they move, their whole body moves. But the bones in the neck of a beluga whale are not all like fused together. They're individual, like us, which means a beluga whale can actually turn its head a little bit. It actually can look around a little bit without moving the entire body like most whales or fish. That's pretty interesting. I bet that helps it find food too. So let's go back to land animals now and take a look at a caribou, or you might also know it as a reindeer. Wow, look at the reindeer. You know what a reindeer is?
I do know reindeer.
Yep. Okay, so a caribou or a reindeer can be up to 7 feet long. That's, again, longer than I can reach my arms side to side. That's very big and weigh 400 to 500 pounds. That's a lot. And did you know that a caribou or a reindeer is the only type of deer where the women have antlers too?
I didn't know that. I thought only boys had the antlers.
Most deers, that's the truth, but a reindeer, the females, the girls, they can have antlers too, and they use those antlers not only to protect themselves against, other animals, but since they live in the snow, they use their antlers to push the snow on the ground out of the way to look for food. So I guess that makes sense why the female reindeers have the antlers too. It makes sense, right?
That's really cool. They have like tools on their head.
Exactly. Everybody needs to eat. And reindeer or caribou, they can travel in huge groups or packs. Like, let's take a look at that picture of all these caribou. Like sometimes up to 200,000 together. That's crazy. That's so big.
You know what I like, Mr. Nyck?
What's that?
That most of these animals stay with their friends and family all the time.
They do. And for caribou especially, they do it just for protection. It's hard, to fend off other animals out there that are looking for a meal. But if you all stick together, it helps. It helps. And speaking about packs, this is interesting. When a baby caribou is born, check this out. It can walk within 3 to 6 hours after being born and keep up with the pack.
Wow.
Yeah. So the herd of caribou, they have to keep moving sometimes because, let's be real, there's other animals out there that are looking for food. So when that baby's born, 3 to 6 hours after being born, it's with the herd, it's walking. That's amazing. 3 to 6 hours. I couldn't even walk after like 6 months, right? Like it takes a year sometimes for babies to walk, humans, 3 to 6 hours. That's cool. Let's go back to an animal that can travel around the water pretty well, and that's a seal. There's 6 different species of Arctic seals. That's seals that live where it's very, very cold, and they can be 5 to 8 feet long, which is pretty big. Now, in order to stay warm, seals have a large layer of blubber, or like fat, just to help keep the warmth inside of them, because it's freezing out there.
So it's like their jacket?
Yeah, kind of like wearing a big, heavy jacket. And they eat fish, which is really high in those healthy fats to keep them insulated with blubber and keep them warm. Now, seals, a lot of times, will actually live on floating blocks of ice. Not very big, but floating blocks of ice, because then that keeps them kind of protected from polar bears. We talked about polar bears can swim and stay underwater for 3 minutes. Well, if you're out in the middle of, the floating block of ice, it might be hard for that polar bear to get you. So that's pretty smart.
That's really smart.
And let's take a look at a picture of this guy. This is a hooded seal, and he has a sack on his nose that he can blow up. It's crazy. It's like a red sack. And now he does this to either try to intimidate other seals to make them look tough, or because he thinks that the girl seals will think he's kind of like, hey, that's kind of cute. What do you think, Allie? You think that big red sack blown up on his nose is cute? Is that weird looking?
It's okay.
It's okay, yeah. It's a little different. It looks like he's blown a big snot booger to me, but I mean, hey, I don't know. Maybe seals think that stuff's kind of cute. All right, let's take a look now at a moose. Now, earlier we talked about reindeer. Now, a moose is part of the deer family also, and it's the largest member of the deer family. It's the second largest land mammal in all of North America or Europe, only second to the bison, just so you know. It's so tall that when it's standing, right, and it's 4 legs, it's standing, its shoulder, or where its back is 7 feet tall. That's way taller than me. Way taller than me. 7 feet, that's crazy. Now, earlier we talked about how the reindeer, they stay together in herds. Moose do not do that. They actually stay pretty much to themselves. They do for most of the year. They stay pretty much to themselves, which is, I don't know, that's weird to me. It seems like you'd want some friends around, but I guess not. And see those huge antlers they have? Those antlers grow every year between spring and fall for like 6 months there. Those antlers grow. And then when the winter comes, those antlers come off, so they help them conserve energy when it gets cold. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that they're antlers that they grow and then they come off every single year. That was interesting to me. What do you think, Allie?
I didn't know that either.
I did not know that.
Because they get really big.
Huge. It's a really cool shape. I didn't know that. And they come off in the winter. And it's funny, I feel like every time we see something like a moose or something like around Christmas, they always have their antlers, but that's not true. They should be off. Interesting. All right, let's take a look at this interesting animal. This is a narwhal. A narwhal. It's actually a whale. It's a medium-sized whale, but look at that thing sticking out. That is a tusk, or it's actually like an extended tooth that can be up to 10 feet long.
A 10-foot long tooth?
Yes, 10-foot long tooth. That's what makes the narwhal so interesting, right? So distinguishable when you look at it.
Why do they need that?
Probably for protection, probably to help maybe kind of guide them, feel things out. I don't know, but that's crazy. Now, a narwhal can be up to 20 feet long. That's long. And up to like 4,000 pounds. That's crazy. It's huge.
So big.
Yes. And the narwhal can stay underwater swimming for up to 25 minutes without having to come up and get air. 25 minutes. That's almost half. That's like watching, like a full cartoon. That's a long, long time, 25 minutes.
They're really amazing.
Yeah, the narwhal is a pretty interesting creature. Now let's talk about the snowshoe hare. The snowshoe, right? Let's show you a picture of a snowshoe so you know what we're talking about. Something that people would wear on their feet to help them walk across snow because they're very large shoes, snowshoes. The snowshoe hare has very large feet, so that helps it get across the snow, the deep snow, without sinking in. Have you ever walked in snow, your feet are sinking in? The snowshoe hare's feet are so big, they're like 7 inches long. So 7 inches, that's pretty long for something that only weighs 3 pounds. So it helps it get across the snow very easily. And the snowshoe hare can also jump up to 10 feet. 10 feet in one single jump. That's a long jump, kids. I mean, get out a tape measure when you're done, measure 10 feet, and imagine a rabbit, a little 3-pound rabbit
And
jumping
in the snow.
in the snow. And remember earlier we talked about the fox changing colors? The snowshoe hare does also. It changes colors. In the summertime, it's brown, and in the wintertime, it's white. Again, so that it's harder to see from animals that may be looking for something to eat. That's such a cute little rabbit.
That was called camouflage?
Camouflage, you're right, Allie. Camouflage. It changes color so that you can't see it as well with the surroundings behind it. Good job. Camouflage. Now let's take a look at our last animal in our Arctic Animals episode. Now so far, most of the animals that we've talked about are closer to the North Pole usually than the South Pole. But this last animal is not near the North Pole at all ever. It's near the South Pole, and it's a penguin. Take a look at this bird that cannot fly. Isn't that crazy, a bird that can't fly?
But they can do something else, right?
Very, very good swimmers. Is that what you meant? Very good swimmers. Yes, they are amazing swimmers, and they can actually stay underwater for up to 20 minutes.
Wow.
20 minutes, that's amazing. And there's 18 different species. Now again, kids, that's kind of confusing, but what that means is that there's so many different kinds of penguins, they don't all look exactly the same. Speaking of how they look, they're white on the front and black on the back. Now we just talked about the snowshoe hare changing its color for camouflage. Penguins don't change color, but they do have 2 different colors on them, and that is actually for camouflage. Because when they're swimming, if they're swimming in water and you look down in the water, looking down, the ocean is very dark. So if you're above it and you look down, the black on its back makes it hard to see. But if you're in the water looking up, the sky makes it look very light. So if you're under a swimming penguin and you look up, like let's say that you're an animal that wants to eat a penguin, because that's what happens sometimes, just being honest. If you look up and see the white belly swimming of the penguin, it looks like it's just part of the sky outside the water. That's why a penguin is black on the back and white on the front, so that other animals have a hard time seeing it, whether they're above them swimming or below them swimming. Very cool feature of the penguin.
You know what else I like about penguins?
I think I know what you're gonna say, but tell me.
I like how they walk.
Yeah.
That was so funny and cute.
I agree, Allie. All right, kids, I had a lot of fun talking about these Arctic animals, and I can't wait to give you guys all the other episodes with the other animals from all around the world. It's gonna be so fun, so interesting. You know what time it is? It's time for the joke of the day! Okay, Allie, are you ready?
I'm ready.
What do polar bears like to eat?
Oh no.
Burritos.
That was a good one, Mr. Nick.
Thanks.
Hey, Mr. Nick.
What?
What else do polar bears like to eat?
I don't know.
Burgers.
Oh, that was a good one. Burgers and burritos. I liked it, Allie. Very good. All right, kids. We'll see you guys next time. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so you see all of our great episodes. including all the upcoming episodes of all the other animals from around the world. We'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Mr. Nyck, he's our pig. It's Mr. Nyck, yay!